Hello and welcome to the AFR Tier 1 Championship Round 3 in Shanghai. We're coming up to the qualifying now. Just a quick overlay of the track that our drivers will be racing around today. We have 5.4 kilometers and 16 turns, 2 DRS zones that they'll be able to use to get their speed up. The main ones to watch out for is the rise and fall of turn 1 and 2 and the long back straight for the overtake battles. We're preparing now as we move into the qualifying session. And here we are with qualifying. I'm Kunai Zero. With me is C Carrot as always, ready to broadcast this race with you. C Carrot, your insights, your predictions. What do you got?
Yeah, pleasure to be here, guys, for round 3. Now, we had a bit of fun last time round with Skyfield being the dark horse, getting up there, and a little bit of controversy with some weaving and some general pelican behaviour, but look, you never know. The Red Bulls put in a really good show. The Mercs fast as usual. Look, it's hard to say there's going to be anything too nutty, but we've got Wahid in here in the Toro Rosso this time rather than the Red, and look, I reckon he's going to be really quick again. He showed he's more than a T2 driver. He's T1 all the way, so.
Yeah, no,
and of course, we've got the return of Revo as well. That's probably the biggest jump in news for this one. Expected to be quick. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that. Yep, Skyfield will probably put out a good show. I haven't watched Revo race, but I've heard really, really, really good things. I've heard that he's very fast, so it'll be interesting to see him rep that Racing Point team. Hopefully Seb doesn't disconnect again. That would be bad because, as far as I'm aware, he put in to the stewards to say that he wanted for a P2 finish on the results board because he had the fuel to keep going. If it wasn't for the disconnected, would stay P2. And then the stewards gave him a DNF because under the regulations, if you disconnect with more than 5 laps to go, it's considered a DNF. So he didn't. As far as I'm aware, he didn't get any points for that race. So Seb will be there to claw that back for sure. Make that up. What I'm looking for is what strategies I'll be running because Shanghai is quite a not so much technical track. There are a lot of high speed areas, so downforce isn't too crazy important. But will we see another medium hard strategy, or will we see a soft, medium soft? Yeah, those are the ones that I'm keen to see.
Yeah, well, personally, I expect the less pit stops, the better sort of strategy tends to win out here. The less times you have to go into the pit, less times you can stuff it up. Always got that penalty lurking, and generally it's sort of, I think the people tend to follow what the Mercs will do. The top 10 generally has its own sort of strat compared to the rest of the field who are trying to do some crazy stuff. We saw last week, I can't remember exactly what it was, but maybe it was Gus, I can't remember, but Summer started on the softs, which was a real change up. It didn't work for him, but maybe we'll see something equally ambitious again. It was Bull. Thanks, Jacob, in the chat. Yeah.
It was Bull. That is correct. It was Bull.
So, will we have that again? It didn't work for him last time, but that was probably not due to the tyres. Will we have another shake-up? And it's good to see as well. Throw a different straight up near the top.
Yeah, Jacob just pointing out soft to hard's technically viable. You are right. It is, but you'll have to make... The only thing I see there is you will have to make those softs last, because you're going to have to push... With a medium, you push to what? It'd be around lap 11, 12... bit more if you're brave. With the softs, I'd expect... I mean, you can push them to 10. We saw, I believe it was Pacey do that. I think Pacey pushed the softs to 10. Or it might have been someone else. But they pushed them really, really hard and then went to the hards. And obviously, you get that speed bonus and grip bonus. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll just have to see. Everyone right now is doing their laps here. What do we got? Reva with a 132.9 on the hards. On the hards? Oh, God. Okay. He is fast.
He's fast, that's for sure. He's up, generally when I was seeing pre-season play, he's up around the pace Newton said, sort of, Just an interesting thing on that. The softs seem to be a bit more viable since the latest patch as well. They do last a bit longer.
Oh, that's right. They don't scale, quality,
so
yes. You're correct.
You probably squeeze a good 8 laps on them as well before you run into issues.
Oh, yeah, Skyfield with a 132.6 now on the softs, but still fast time nonetheless. So he's really got the pace there in the Williams. Ironic, but still. What else we got? Bandcamp with a 133.2. Nut just pulling a 132.9 there on the softs. Gus with a 133, and the rest of the field thereabouts. Seb with a 133.6 on the medium. So Apollo with a 143. He was definitely on a slow lap there. We'll move down to Matt Zoid, see where he is on his lap coming around. On the wide turning corner as he comes out onto that back straight. Pacey with a 132.5 on the mediums. There's Matt Zoid smashed into that DRS zone. Absolutely blinding 331, 332 as he comes up into that brake marker. He's running on the softs as well. So is Wahid and Lotus. So all the... those guys there running on the softs. So it looks like, yeah, they might be charging, or maybe they're just running a practice session in on the softs. Matt Zoid with a 136.1. Fantastic time there from the Red Bull. As we go to Wahid. He's coming up on that last corner there in the Toro. Let's see what we do. Oh no, he's pitting in. Never mind. And so is Lotus. Fair enough. Okay, so 131.6, the time to beat there on the soft tyre.
Yeah, I think we'll get most of the field, probably starting on the mediums. It's a good balance to be, I would say. Similar to last week, you can go softer, you can go harder if you have an incident early, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree. The mediums definitely seem to be the better tyre to start on, at least for the majority of the tracks, just because you can push later, push a longer stint. And then obviously switching onto the hards and running the rest of your race, which then means you've got at least better tyre wear on those hards, because if those hards do get up into the higher percentages, they can give out bad. And we did see, actually, was it you in the Tier 2 race that had a flat? You had a puncture?
Yeah, last lap on the worst part of the circuit on that massive right-hander. I don't know how I limped it home and only lost one position doing that, but yeah, that was a shocker.
Well, at least you had a car. I, not so much.
Yeah, I'm hoping my luck turns. So I was up to second after about the second corner of the last race and got yeeted off twice. And
That's happened to you twice. Yeah, that happened to you in Australia
Yeah.
on the second turn, and it happened to you again in Bahrain. Jacob pointing out that I'm rubbing it in. Now, look, I can rub it in all I like because I didn't even finish the race. And it wasn't a person in front of me that bumped me or someone trying to overtake. It was literally me turning a corner and then putting it into the wall. Admittedly, just in my slight defense, I did have a game stutter, and because of that, I didn't pull off the accelerator and therefore lost traction and went into the wall. But still, at least C Carrot finished. So,
yeah, look, I'm tempted to start last and just watch the mayhem, and because that first lap, if I can get through that, I'd seem to do all right. It's just oof.
it's just a starting grid. I mean, we see with Tier 1, it doesn't seem to be as crazy. These guys seem to respect the space and know their positioning, know their altered brake markers in the grid and things like that. So you see them as they take off and they come in. It'll be interesting to see here in Shanghai because Shanghai's got a decent straight coming up to that turn 1, turn 2. And it's a rise and fall with a very wide arcing turn 1 into a very tight turn 2. So what will happen is you'll be able to go on the outside of turn 1 and keep your speed, but then what that's going to do is that's going to put you into a pinch point as you come into turn 2, which can work for you if you have enough of a lead coming into it, but will be in your detriment if you don't. Because if you don't, anyone that's on the outside of turn 2 is going to cut in hard, and there could be a collision. I don't see a collision coming with Tier 1. These guys know what they're doing, and I don't see that. But in Tier 2, I cannot say, because it does get a bit archaic sometimes in the Tier 2 championship.
I'm hoping the level of crazy drops slowly as we work through the races. Couple of interesting notes here. We do have that smaller grid, only 14 cars turning up for this one. Bit of logistics problems for a good 6 cars of the field, so that'll compress things a little bit. Good chance for points for some of the lower runners, maybe. Mm-hmm. And also, all of the guys, or majority of the guys, are out on softs here in the middle stint here, so probably telling me they're going to try a medium run for the last couple of minutes, maybe, and try and jump their softs. It's going to be interesting.
With Revo giving himself a crawl so he can get a bit of a space happening as he comes in around that last turn to start his flying lap. We'll just jump on board with him, see how we go. As he flies down into that rise in turn 1, hard on the brakes. Now he's coasting down to 4th gear, probably shifting down to 2nd for end of turn 1 into the sharp turn 2. Down to 1st. Oh no, and he punches up to 3rd there. Maybe just doing it for the little bit of extra kick you get in the turn when you shift down. Fly down to the 7th, back down to 3rd. Rounds the corner, down to 1st again. Okay, so he comes down and low on the gears. I do see a couple of people doing that. From what I understand, lower gears, if you use the lower gears as you shift, you get a better turn in, which means you can hit apexes a lot better.
Yeah, you get that little jump of engine braking. But it does make it a bit of a nightmare on the old throttle coming out, so you got to be really good to not spin her easy.
Yeah, that's what I find as well. I did a couple of time trials today on the Shanghai circuit trying to improve my skills. I was futile, but still. And I did notice that if you do smash down, you really have to be quick on that shifter. Otherwise, you're just going to overrev the engine and it's going to completely ruin your uptime. So, as Revo comes into the penultimate corner, 3rd, 4th, 5th as he comes out, he's on a 123 right now. Ooh, hugs that curb, goes out, puts one tyre out, and comes across the line in a 130.5. Bloody hell, he is quick. That's a bloody fast time.
It's a good second over Matt's medium tyres, so it'll be interesting to see if the rest of the field can match that sort of pace.
And it'll be interesting to see if Revo tries a medium run. Because if he wants to start on the mediums, you'd assume he obviously doesn't want to do his fastest lap time on the soft. So
yeah, well, Yeah, from that stint to the last one, you'd probably get another half a second of track evolution, but yeah. Will the mediums be fast enough to jump that? Will be tough.
That will be the question as we move down onto Seb's cam. On the 126 as he comes up to that last corner. Oh, no, and he's pushing into the pits, so he's probably getting ready for his last stint. Move on to Geordie, coming down that back straight. PRS on 8th gear, 330 kilometres probably before he hits that brake marker. Actually, no, just before 325. Down onto that 2nd gear. Uses the apex there. As he guns it up to that last corner. Is he going into the pits as well? Yes, he is. It looks like everyone getting ready, just tweaking for that last stint. Doing the Pacey. Yep, Pacey just looks like he's warming the tyres, I guess. Or just coasting at home.
Yep, so we're now just getting ready for that little lull period, see who's first to pop out for the final stint. Who's going to jump onto which tyre and try and set their best lap.
Well, we've got 10 cars currently in the pits, which tells me that's going to be quite a crowded last 2 minutes of the session. Hopefully they'll be able to give each other enough space. Don't want anybody ruining anyone's lap time. That would be bad. Kind of like Perez and Ricciardo today at Hungary. It was a fantastic qualifying session, might I just add. Alright, as Pacey comes into the pits, and it looks like Pepsi and Lotus are ready to do the same, I think. Yes, Pepsi coming in.
And looks like they're all pushing out now on the softs, so that's going to be the tyre they want to start on. By the look of it, we've just seen a couple of guys jump out of the pit now. They slowly filter out. We've got the Red Bull out, number 6.
So there we are. So it looks like a soft start. So Jacob might actually be right here. It might actually be a soft to hard stint.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to depend on how that tyre lasts up this soft. They're going to want to minimise pit stops, so yeah, if they can get, what would they need? Probably only need 7 laps maybe on the softs, and then they can jump to the hards and try and go all the way.
Yep.
Also, I imagine it would be a soft medium and then a soft final stint again.
Jacob saying nobody wants to risk being slow in the first stint. You're probably on it there. Shanghai is quite a blitz track. That back straight giving you an intense speed. You've also got the main straight and also the fast middle section of the track. So yeah, probably wanting to, you know, keep the lead or try and increase the amount of time gained before the pit stop. I mean, if everybody does the same thing, does it really work? Whatever. It'll be down to, I think it'll be down to who can make their soft tyres last longest and who can keep the speed while doing so. Because obviously, you protect your tyres, you're more aware of your cornering speeds and your cornering entry and exits. So you're going to put less strain on them, which means you're not going to be as fast. So we'll see how that puts as Lotus goes. Oh, yep, moving out of the way from Matt. That makes sense. We'll move up to Matt as he's doing his lap there.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like the middle sector, especially those full throttle, hard lock corners. The softs, fresh softs compared to mediums. That's the difference between having to lift and not having to. So you can lose a lot of time in those corners on the slower tyre.
Exactly. All right, as we watch Matt on his flying lap. Matt doing quite well. 131.6 is his previous on the softs. Now he's got a fresh set. And as he comes in, punching in through sector 2. It's hard, right? Usually in 6th gear. Slow up a little bit, let the coast happen. Oh. See? No, I think... Yep, I think something's gone wrong for him. So he's given up on that particular lap. We'll come back to him. We'll see how Revo's going. Yep, he seems to be punching it hard as he kisses that curve there. And it looks like Skyfield just in front. And Revo using that toe. Smart. Ooh, that poor gearbox. Oh, Lotus has left the session. Okay, well, he's probably done his.
As has combined. I don't know. Was there an incident there? I'm not sure.
As Revo goes past 130.5. No, I think that's him. That was his old one.
Revo's done as well.
Yeah.
So
Here comes Matzoid. And he was very slow in the middle section.
yeah, he was dodging a few
140.
guys.
So that's him. Or does he get one extra? Did he cross just before the...
He must have. Jeez, did he time that perfectly or what?
Bloody hell, did he time that perfectly? Jesus, okay. Well, we'll sit on him as he goes around. I don't see anybody else's time changing. Geordie there finishes with a 131.6. Wahid, oh my, Wahid with a 131.
Blistering.
Oh, and Pacey comes in with a 131.0 in that Mercedes chassis. Here we go. Fantastic.
Couldn't get up to Revo's time though. Half a second off the Pink Panther. So, woof. Revo's not stuffing around. He's missed the last race, and he's keen to get back on it.
There's Seb coming in with a 131.2, so just behind his teammate there. And yeah, Revo leading with 0.5. And I mean, 0.5, that's pretty much a decade in racing terms.
And that was in the... Was that in the prior stint?
Yeah, it was. It was in the prior
that.
stint.
So,
it was in the prior stint.
yeah, wow.
As everyone in is finishing up their laps. Gus 131.6, Geordie 131.6 as well. Bandcamp switches up there with a 131.9 as Matt comes in around that. Can the Red Bull do any better? Oh, and he puts it up to third just before that scoreboard came in. So he's broken up the Mercedes. They won't be starting near each other. So it looks like we've got a racing point in pole position.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, Mercedes in the second position, cleaning up that front row. And we've got Red Bull and the other Mercedes making up the second row. And then Wahid in the Toro Rosso and combined in the Haas, making up the third row. So this looks like a pretty good grid. Session starts in about 19 seconds. And then we'll port over to there. Let's have a look. So Lotus and Nut coming up the back. Skyfield and the Williams. I will be watching him a lot because he seems like the type of person that just turns it on and off. So he'll be someone that we'll watch closely. And we got Bandcamp, Apollo, and Geordie making up that midfield there.
Geordie's probably not too happy with his quali, given his pace last week. So he'll be on it and trying to make up some spots too in this first. Oh, and we've got wet. Okay.
Oh, it's raining. Fantastic. Just want to point out, Revo says, I accidentally put my fuel on mix 3. Yeah, that'd do it.
Well, that I think that suddenly explains everyone going on the softs, because they obviously saw the weather coming, stuck here in our commentary box, didn't have the privilege. So now Inter's all wet, so of course you'd quali on the soft.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, there you go. Makes sense. So that means we're going to see how I can't see it. I really wish there was an option for that, but it seems to be pouring fairly heavy. Maybe not. Do you reckon they'll go on inters or wets?
I would predict an Inter start, to be honest with you. The tire's just that much quicker, but obviously we don't have the privilege of the weather report here, which is a bit of an oversight. We're sitting in our isolated bunker, so I don't know if it's going to rain the whole race, if we're expecting drying halfway through. I don't know. What's the gap?
We'll just have to wait and see as we prepare for round 3 race to kick off. Could we see a virtual repeat of Hockenheim last week?
Oh, well, if it's anywhere near as exciting as Hockenheim, we're going to be on for a crack.
Yeah, for sure. Just on that point, that race was ridiculous. Valtteri Bottas and Hamilton having a bloody foul race. Hamilton managing to save. I don't know what it is with that kid. I don't know if it's luck. I don't know if it's a guardian angel. But every time he seems to spin out that car, he narrowly misses the wall. Valtteri Bottas spins in the exact same corner in the exact same way, and he just goes nose first. Whoa-bang. Breaks the suspension and the tyre comes completely off. So, yeah.
It's all a conspiracy. Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
But we got Verstappen on pole tonight for his first ever.
Verstappen on pole makes him not the youngest, but it makes him the 100th pole position sitter, and it makes him the first. I believe it makes him the first from the Netherlands.
Yeah, probably. I imagine his dad never made poles.
Yeah, so that's it's a good job for Max. I'm starting to like him more and more as I watch him. To me, he seems like a very uptight person, but he's a race car driver. And race car drivers tend to do that.
More and more now he's not racing Danny.
That's true. And Danny,
that helps.
It's a shame that Danny's not doing great at Renault, but then again, he sort of saw that coming. He's at least doing better if you do the comparisons between him and Hulkenberg. He's doing a lot better as we come in to the formation lap. As they try and get some... Now
Looks like the whole field's on inters, yep.
That's right. The whole field is on inters. All right, so... Sorry.
But, I mean, this will be a big shake-up because he who's fast on softs or may not necessarily be fast in the wet. So it's a different beast altogether.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, as we watch the grid make their way up and trying to get some warmth here in the tyres. Now, of course, the inters being faster than the wets, preferred for standing water. I don't think we probably won't see wet tyres. In a wet race, do they have to switch? They have to do the regulation pit stop, but do they have to switch the tyre contact?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, is that Revo drifting? Okay, yep, no worries. Calm down there, Ken Block. It's the formation lap.
I was just getting some heat in. He'll be right.
Someone channeling their inner centre.
But yeah, the water, that throws away any need to do regulation tyres changing. So depending on if the rain stops,
all right,
we might be going from inters to softs or inters to mediums or inters. Who knows? Yeah,
well, we'll have to wait and see as we're not privy to the weather and I can't stick my head out of the window and check. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think you'd only need the one stop on the inters if it was going to be inter to inter.
Well, I'm pretty sure don't they last something like 20 laps? Inters?
Yeah,
something like that? That's something pretty long. Quite thick, so. All right. You see them weaving, ducking in and out. As they come up to the penultimate corner.
Will we see some chipped wings? The wets always make things interesting. We'll see a bit of slide.
Yeah, what I want to see is the altered brake markers for everyone, being one in a wet race or two coming off the grid. That first corner is going to be hectic. You can push your braking marker a lot longer because it is uphill, so you have the added fact of gravity pushing down on your car. However, in the wet, it's quite hard to see. Now, I don't know, the majority of people do race on TV pod, so they'll have a little bit of leeway there, but it is quite hard to see when you've got a lot of that mist coming up at your face. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes along as Lotus pulls up there on the back of the grid, and we're going to see the lights at any time now. The engines are revving as the lights start to come on. Oh, a little bit of a glitch here.
Just a couple of back markers jumping around, I think. Waiting for a connection to settle.
Not a problem, okay.
There we go.
Sector 3 yellow flag. Okay.
Just that Lotus was just pulling in then, so
okay, righto.
He must have, because he dropped out in the last session. Maybe he just managed to reconnect before it started.
Disqualified from session, parked in a dangerous location. Are you serious?
So is he gonna have to do a lap and then join us again?
No, he was disqualified.
No, he's just from the session, not just the lap.
Okay. How can you park in a bad session when isn't it automatic?
Yeah, I've not seen that. The AI is clearly in control of that.
If you didn't know any better, Lotus just sort of went, nah, I don't want to do this race. Took his ball, took his car, went home.
Well, he dropped out in the quali, so I don't know whether AI took over and just made a mess of it.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, that might be the case. He probably did DC. Maybe he DC during the formation. I didn't see any notice there, but anyway. So, are they going to restart the race? Are they going to... I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on that. They're already on the grid. So... But it hasn't started. The lights haven't started, so I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know if they're contemplating restarting the session and doing custom grid. Lotus is still in the race lobby, so he's obviously on chat, so they'll be having a chat about it.
Lotus has left the session, and the lights are going 3, 4, 5... And it's lights out, and the grid is starting, and Revo gets a really slow jump there as the Mercedes just goes straight past. And my god! Yep, okay. So they're all restarting.
Remigrating host, so yeah, it's just chaos. Good time.
Remember what I said about Tier 1 being a lot more professional? Scratch that. As the AI decides to cause complete havoc. Yeah, it looks like they are going to restart that session, so everyone watching, if you'll just be patient as we work our way in there.
With the restart session, we'll probably have to rejoin it.
Alright, no worries.
Something like this, I wish we had a fly on the wall in the race lobby chat.
Exactly right. We'll have to try and work on something. We'll have to try and work on something to try and get some more info there. Alright guys, we're just going to go into a slight pre-broadcast screen while we reset up, and we'll be back with you shortly. All right, and we're back. Okay, a little bit of technical difficulties there for the guys. So we're now privy it's going to be a light rain race. So we're probably going to see inters and inters. Fair enough. As we just wait up for everyone to load in. We've just done a custom grid, so obviously we'll see everything as before. I don't think there was a formation lap, so it'll just start from the go. Bit of a shame there, but
Yeah, I wasn't privy there. I didn't see if they still had formation turned on for this restart. I'm hoping not. Let's get this lights out and going.
Should pay respects to us tier 2 competitors. I'm gonna have to start quite late tonight, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Is everyone still loading in?
What this will mean is Lotus won't miss out like he did from crashing out in quali. He'll just start at the back of the grid. So we've got the full 14 round to go.
Alright, as we make our way in now, 15 seconds to go. Everyone just finishing up their setups. No, Jacob, we haven't, but we'll see how we go after. I'll try and find out what's going on. I think it would have just been a DC, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, now everyone on the grid. And they take off. Here we go. Okay, so. Oh no. Is that? No, that's the race. Okay, fair enough. So, as we come into that first turn, Riva right on the outside. It looks like Pacey gets that nice overtake in there, but it's going to put him on the outside as he keeps that position. Seb trying to get up into that second position as well, but no, Revo says, no, I'll lose one, but I won't lose another. Oh, he might lose out on the straight, though. Woof, that's close. All right, try and get this UI out of the way for you guys. Oh, and there's a spin. No, Seb and Pacey both go out. So it looks like Revo takes his position back again, and Geordie moves up into that second position.
Oh, what a ridiculous start.
Yeah, there we go.
Where to begin with that?
So they didn't do it at turn 2, they did it at turn 3. My bad, it was a turn off.
Geordie's up into second and looking pretty, same with Gus.
Yeah, we are. Right, so Revo leading the race, Geordie in the Red Bull behind, Gus in the Ferrari, and Wahid in the Toro Rosso making up that top 4 as we see that middle section start to bunch up again. Pacey and Seb have made their way into 6th and 7th just behind Apollo. And we're coming up onto that back straight. I might just pop down towards them. Let's see what the chaos is like. Oh, my Revo goes quite wide there.
So, reports from Jacob that Matt took out the Mercs. Didn't see it myself, so, well, if that's the case, the stewards will have some work to do.
Yeah, there'll probably be a claim there. As Flyboy's bringing up the rear quite a lot, so he could have undone quite badly there as everyone's coming in onto that second to last corner. Revo making his way out. Right, Seb
still a lot of tiptoeing around.
Oh, okay, yep, so there's obviously damage there. Seb's got damage there, so he's going to go in there. Move back up to Pacey. He keeps his
what a disaster.
Yeah, no, it's going to be out. So Seb's going to have to do quite a drive to try and make that back as Pacey moves up behind Apollo and Wahid. Oh, and he does, look at him. He wants that position back. Absolutely trying now. He's gone on the outside there. Apollo's probably going to keep that position there, but he does move past Wahid and gets the 5th position there. And Geordie's now made his way in front of Revo. So, not bad. Combined YouTuber just took it there. Matt Zoid as well.
Looks like we're definitely getting Hockenheim flashbacks for the old Mercs.
Yeah. Looks that way indeed. Alright, I will just move down here towards Skyfield. It looks like everyone down here is quite close together. We'll jump on board, try and get a better thing. So, as you can see, light rain, but in those speeds, almost looks like a tornado.
Gus just holding it on the outside of that curve.
Yeah. Alright. As they start punching their way towards that big, wide turn. Apollo, Pacey trying to go up on the outside there. But Apollo's got a nice line on the inside, so he's going to keep it. We'll just pop up to Pacey, see how he's going to do this. 5th, 6th, and he's going to go into that toe. And he's going to try and slingshot right around. Apollo moving up to the outside, not doing a defensive. Knows where he's going to be.
I think Apollo would give it to him.
Alright, and
just race for preservation at this stage.
On the inside. So Pacey now moves up to 4th. Apollo in that 5th position. And Seb all the way in 13th. So we'll see how he does throughout the race, but hopefully it's not too bad for him. As Revo getting really close to Geordie here. God, he's pushing up. Look at him. He's like, give me my
he's quick.
back. Give me my position back, he says, as he's pushing. Relentless here into turn 2. And yeah, they've got to take it easy because it is wet. So Inters, as they give you more. Oh, as Revo just hits that limiter there, losing traction. As they push in. So it's going to be a careful race, but at the same time, nobody wants to lose a position. As you can see, the grip line, the racing line coming more and more dry as it gets rubbered in. Revo right behind him there. There's a lot of positions being shifted here. Skyfield just went around there. Combined and Bandcamp all past Wahid as well. So something happened there. Wahid going past there. Matt Zoid as well. Just moved down to Nut. See if we can see some. Oof. Jeez, what a start to the race. Lap 3, and we've already had something like 7 position changes.
And speaking of, we've got 7 different teams in the top 7. So
look at that. All the
interesting
colours
factor.
of the rainbow representing that top part of the grid. Alright, as everyone starts making their way around that large, wide corner again. Nut just behind Matzo with Wahid in front. They all punch their way down, combined. Just making that overtake on Bandcamp as we see that the Haas brilliantly using that toe. And it looks like Bandcamp might want to do a dive here. No, he plays it safe, pulls right back in behind that Haas.
Smart.
Yeah, definitely.
Long way to go, guys. Long way to go.
Correct. 28 laps here on this race. Revo setting a 1:48.3 on the Inters. Ooh, a little bit of slide there. Pacey beating it again, 1:48.1. Oof. So the Mercedes don't want to give up at all.
Revo taking Geordie.
Just took the lead.
Bit of contact.
Move up there to Geordie. Oh, side by side. Oh. Red Bull doesn't want to give up either. This is fantastic. 1, it's wet. 2, they're racing like it's dry. So, I mean, we're going to
be a fly on the wall in the old race chat for these two.
Definitely. They are pushing it quite hard. Looks like that Geordie just sliding in behind there. Revo going quite off the line. That's going to cost him some time there because he's going to have to go easier on the accelerator. Yep, Geordie fitting in nicely behind. So they're probably going to play leapfrog a lot. Just due to the conditions, they're always going to be within a second of each other. There's, you know what I mean. There's always going to be a good drag for the car behind. While as we just saw Revo there losing a little bit of traction coming onto there. Let's have a look at these interval positions. Skyfield 0.7, just behind Apollo Pepsi, and Bandcamp 0.8 behind Combined Mutual. So it's a close grid. I mean, you have to go down
Lotus. He's run wide and yeeted himself off.
Revo trying to
Seb
swerve.
takes advantage.
Trying to get there. Yeah, so unfortunate for Lotus there. So yeah, if you have a look, I mean, everyone's quite close to each other. You get to Seb down in 12th there. He's 20 seconds behind, and you got Lotus and Flyboy respectively 10 and 5 behind him. So we'll see how their race pans out. But up the front, it's and Seb leaves. Now, is that a disconnect or is that a quit? And Lotus is left
Lotus.
as well.
Okay.
Okay. So what's
There was no contact between the two, so not related to that.
Yeah, we'll have to see we'll have to try and get some news on that, see what happened there. As we see Nut move up from Wahid.
I see that Mutant is rejoining the game, so it looks like his game crashed, so
Okay, fair enough.
probably try and get back.
His race was kind of ruined already, so it might not be too bad.
He'll
He's
be
still got
just
a
for
good
top
23
10
laps,
points, I think.
24 laps to go, so it's not going to be... He might be able to pull something out, we'll see. They do have to stop, so see how it goes. I'll just move down a little bit as we join Skyfield there in the Williams, following up behind Apollo Pepsi in the McLaren. We've got some good times happening here. It looks like Bandcamp's trying to get above YouTuber. He goes wide. He's in the wet bit of the track, so he does pull straight back in behind. So really the only overtaking opportunities are going to be that back straight. Or if you're a little bit more brave, you can try on one of the corners, but you get that wrong, and it might be your race done. So everyone being a little bit more sensible when it comes to the other parts of the track.
Yeah, I think that straight's where the overtake's going to happen, and the rest of the field changes is purely going to be mistakes, I think. Looks that way so far anyway.
Sure.
It's hard to keep up with, as half the field tend to run wide and have a slide on every corner, so it's hard to know where the action is.
Yeah,
it's
that's
everywhere.
right. So we'll just have to keep an eye on those intervals times to give us a clue as Revo keeps his lead with Geordie close behind. As Bandcamp making his way to that penultimate corner. Revo with a 1:48.0. Pacey with a 1:47.9. Is that not letting up at all. That Mercedes wants his position on the front back. Alright, as Bandcamp makes his way onto the straight now, Skyfield will just pop up. He's the closest there out of anyone in the gaps. Trying to get a position up there on that McLaren. So we haven't seen any crazy offs. We haven't seen any... It's been pretty
slowly
tame.
settling into a rhythm, yeah.
That's right.
Skyfield and Geordie, obviously the big benefactors to the first lap chaos. With Gus up there as well, and Pepsi. So it'll be interesting to see as those guys have benefited, whether they can maintain those spots, because obviously they weren't there by pace alone. So we have fast cars down low.
As Zudik's asking, how many laps does a set of inters last? If I remember correctly, a set of inters lasts at least 20. I believe it's 20. They have to stop at least once. It is regulation to do at least one pit stop. So, I mean, on these tyres, you can push them as hard as you want. The real question will be, do you maybe wait, considering it's a rain race, and see if someone has a bad off and there's a safety car? Or do you try just a standard strategy and sort of pick your time?
Yeah, I think the only time wear is going to matter with these tyres is going to be if they have an off and cook them. Yeah. So, other than that, it'll just be a one-stopper, and whenever they're feeling a nice gap, I would say.
Alright, as we move down to the back of the grid with Wahid. Revo 1:47.9. They're not slowing up at all. They're just pushing harder and harder. So, I mean, as a track robber, almost going off the track.
Seen a lot of people run a little bit wide in that final corner, so we might start to see some warnings add up as well. It is a very strict system on that final corner. You touch that white line at all, and you're given a warning. So
not going out wide again. Can Wahid capitalise on that? Not quite. He manages to lose a little bit of traction there as well. See, this is what I love about this turn one, the rise and fall. What that means is you can take a late braking chance because it's on an uphill, which means it'll pull your speed quicker. But then as soon as you hit that downhill, if you don't do it right, it throws you completely off. And it's a really well-designed corner as Nut goes completely off the track.
He takes advantage.
He takes that 10th position away. See, that's it. Slow and steady wins the position. As seems to be the case. As we have a quick look up and down the field. Yeah, 0.5, 0.8.
Starting to filter into some packs. We've got the top four relatively close, and then you've got that big 8 seconds down to Apollo and a couple more cars, and then another few seconds off. So sort of working out their speed differences and settling in for the long haul ahead.
Yeah, so as we put, just to make a point of it, Revo is now 2.1 seconds in front of Geordie. So even in the rain, he's got the pace, which is fantastic to see. We'll see if Pacey can make his way back up to that front grid. He's only 0.6 behind Gus as Revo does a 1:47.4 as well. Move up to Skyfield there. As he comes
Just
up
got that nice little train, Apollo and Skyfield, and then you've got Combined, who missed out big time on the first lap, dropped a whole heap of positions, so he's hungry to get back up. He's joining that fight as well.
Nut with a 3 second time.
3 second.
So he's having a bit of trouble there holding his car.
I can't say I'm too surprised because on the previous lap I saw him go wide in the exact same spot as I mentioned. And now he's picked up 2 warnings in a row for that corner.
Right, Pacey, 0.2. Oh, moved up to 0.5, so he was really close there to Gus. We're coming up into a corner. We'll see how this goes. Oh, jeez, Apollo really putting on that apex into the gravel even. So he might. I'm surprised he didn't get a warning for that one, or maybe got a warning on time penalty.
Combined almost yeeted into the back of Skyfield. That was such a hard break for those 3. Good little bat.
Yeah, see the rain just adds that little element there, and it's enough to do massive changes.
That's where we filter out the men from boys, that's for sure.
Skyfield really pushing up behind that McLaren. Will he try and do an overtake here on this back straight? As he pushes up hard, let's have a look at the interval. 4.946. As it comes down to 4.4, he probably won't make it back there as Apollo does a little duck and weave. But Skyfield's right on his tail now. Will he go for a late dive? No.
Combine jumps through.
Hey! Oh, but there's
contact.
There's contact and a wing. That's a wing. I saw a wing just come off there.
That's the end plate for combined, I see, is missing.
Right, but he doesn't pit. He stays on, so maybe it's not that bad.
Also got Pacey right up on Gus's gearbox too, so he'll be looking to have a pounce very shortly.
See the Haas combined.
Jeez, he's going to struggle to maintain that.
He is. I mean, if that is, I mean, I saw it come off, so I'm sure that's got to be at least yellow damage. So
he just wouldn't have had time, I think, to tell the pit that he needed a new wing. So,
oh God, he tries to pull up there and he just misses the Williams. Good job there to not hit, but yeah, you can definitely see that the handling has been severely affected. Letting off on that accelerator, 5th gear right around the corner. So, yep, he's going to have to play. Now he's going to play 2 mind games. One, he's going to try and hold his position. It's Skyfield really using that, and Flyboy's retired. Not sure what's happened there, but he has left the session. So maybe
he was down in no man's land. So wouldn't have thought he'd give up by now with so much still to go. But Codemaster gods aren't very forgiving tonight, it seems.
Oh, Pacey makes a manoeuvre there as he comes across. You can see it on the Gus cam. As Pacey comes up onto that thing now, will he try and keep that inside line? And will Gus try and cut him under? No, he pulls straight back into line. He doesn't want to do any type of mistakes there. Pulls in behind Pacey.
He was running a good half a second slower than Pacey each lap. So
and Skyfield and Apollo making quite a position change here. Skyfield moves up. We'll go down to Apollo to have a look. Are they going to try and go on the inside?
Yellow flag.
Apollo moving into the pits. So something's happened there. I'm assuming they might have made contact on that back corner. He's going to need that. And it's a safety car.
A full safety car out. Okay.
Alright, safety car. So, there was definitely contact there. Alright, we'll move on to the broadcast cam of Revo as everyone starts to pull up.
No, who will be happy, and that'll be Seb. He's going to dive in for probably his last set of inters from here, you'd expect. But now, with this field closed up...
It's pretty much what he needed. That's what he needed. So Seb's going to now close up that gap, and Lotus too, I guess, because you're going to have at least one full lap of the safety car. Revo's got to be not happy because he had a 2-second lead there, so that's going to obviously bring that back down. Nut's going to be pleased with that because obviously his pit stop's not going to be as severe as it would have been.
I didn't see what caused it, but I'm guessing it was Flyboy's DNF, was it?
Maybe.
Did he crash out and that's what brought the safety car?
I'm not sure, but I think it was probably Zudix makes a good point. It was probably too many contact incidents because
okay.
Nut did hit Skyfield as they came around that penultimate corner there.
Okay. So I wasn't watching on that one, so
that
okay,
was probably
makes
the
sense.
call made as Seb rapidly reduces that gap there. This is good. This is good. This is going to lap 10, so we've still got 18 laps to go. Yeah, so, and Pacey moves out of the way. Geordie there? Okay, yep, fair enough. So he's just going wild on that one, that's fair. As they all move in. Alright, now will the safety car stay out or will it move on? Let's have a look. Go on board with Revo as we watch. Is that safety car going off the track? No.
No.
So Revo decides to do the pit stop.
So does Pacey, follows him in, and almost runs wide into the wall behind him. Wow, Pacey almost lost it.
Yeah, man. Well, that's it. That's their pit. That's their strategy decided for them. That was it. Wait for the safety car.
How bizarre to choose to pit on the second lap of the safety car. So he's going to lose all that track position.
Yeah, but he'll be able to catch up. I mean, they didn't know if it was going to last more than one lap. The safety car turning in. You know when the safety car is finishing, his lights go out. That's a good point. So, obviously they knew that the safety car was going to be out for another lap. So, bite the bullet, come in, know that you can make up the gap, know that you've got the pace to make up the gap. So
yeah, it's just strange to lose so much track position and not just pit on the first lap of the safety car. I mean, on the inters, the wear doesn't really matter that much, so they probably could have pushed another 6, 7, 8, 9 laps before they needed to pit anyway. So, interesting call. They've just hurt themselves, but I guess they know their pace is naturally quick. They should be able to close that gap, provided they stay out of trouble.
So we've got Apollo here. So he's already pitted. So effectively, he will be the race leader because Geordie and Gus still haven't. So they still have to do their one regulation pit stop. Everyone else on the board seems to have done theirs. So it'll be up to... Now, here's a good question. Whether or not... Now, Revo's in 6th. Pacey's in 7th. Can Apollo and Bandcamp keep their position? Will Seb, using the safety car, will he make his way back up through the grid? Or will Revo and Pacey just completely annihilate everyone and just go make their way up to 1st and 2nd?
Yeah, look, it's going to be an incident thing for sure if they can stay out of trouble. There's no doubt that the guys at the front are slower than Revo, Pacey, and Seb as well, so that'll compress the field a little bit. It'll be about if they get too itchy, if they do something silly, dive bomb in. I'd still expect the pace to...
and the safety car is still...
It's doing another lap. Wow.
Track, so,
okay.
Alright, so Lotus might even make his way back up to form the grid. Wow, okay, another lap, righto. Oh wait, Seb has joined? Okay, so...
He must have crashed again. Okay, so he's jumping back in.
Alright, well, lucky for him.
Lucky his AI is smart.
Well, he's right up back there on the grid now. As you can see, he's up there. Lotus, come on, mate. You can do it.
He should make that 30 seconds up.
He should make that 30 seconds. They've still got another lap to go, so hopefully Lotus will come up. So this is interesting. This has made the race interesting. Now all the grid is compressed again.
It's a fresh start. It really is.
Fresh start.
Most of them on fresh tyres. Halfway through the race, it's just going to be a sprint from.
So Revo and Pacey in the middle of the grid. So they're going to have to battle through the top 5. Geordie and Gus still have to do their pit stop. So we know that they're not going to really be in contention. Because they could have done... I mean, if I was them and I saw that safety car turn, I would have gone in then. But they didn't?
Yeah, it would have put them at the back. So they gone... So I probably wouldn't. I would stay out because pitting now just means you're going to be 13th. So what's the point? Stay in. As we just get told, safety car will be in this lap. But yeah, stay out. Hope that the rest of the field spreads itself apart again, and then your next pit only drops you down into the low top 10 rather than out of it completely.
Nut with a 5-second penalty, and Newton with
another one.
My. Okay, so some argy-bargy happening back here. So I'm assuming that Matt Zoid slowed up a little bit too much. The other guys couldn't slow up enough.
Has that caused damage? Is their wing missing?
I'm trying to look here on the broadcast cam. They seem fine, but I'm not sure.
Truly odd.
There's Lotus flying down that back straight, trying to catch up, and he's just going to reach the tail end of that grid.
And Geordie ready for the restart. He's backed the field up nicely. And he's off.
And here we go, as Geordie and Gus make their way onto the main straight. Alright, let's see how this all goes with the Red Bull leading and the Ferrari close behind. Apollo and Bandcamp, and look at combined right up behind him.
Seb has left again.
And someone
So
else
it
has
looks
joined.
like
Oh
he's
my god,
probably-
Geordie goes completely wide. Let's go on board
no.
as Apollo takes that position away. Oh, unfortunate for Geordie. Alright, as Gus now becomes leader of this race, we'll move back slightly. See what the Renault's up to. He's got a front of position. The Haas right up the back of that Renault. And Revo wanting to hunt down. Now he's going to... Oh, there's contact! No!
Oh no,
Oh, and
Geordie's
Revo
had a
goes
spin.
wide. Oh no.
Acey's the real benefit. I was just about to say he's dropped off the back of Revo, but you managed to see all that happen. Jump in the inside of them all and
God.
jump them.
And Geordie's
What a
made
turn of
all
luck.
the way down to 11th. No way. So that's unfortunate for him. Now I'm assuming there was contact. I believe it was from who's behind him. It would have been Bandcamp or Combined or Apollo maybe. I know he was seeing it from Revo's perspective when he saw that Geordie turned. So that's quite unfortunate for him. It was Apollo. Thanks, Jacob. God, that's gotta suck. Oh, that's gotta suck.
He'll be seeing red mist, no doubt. He's just got to put his head down. A top 10 is still well and truly on the cards here for him. So
Definitely. All right, we'll just go on board with Skyfield as there is a fantastic little train happening here with the Williams, the Toro, and the Renault. Wahid trying to get on the outside. Oh my God, 3 wide coming into that last corner. Skyfield pulls up. He knows that was maybe a little bit ballsy as Wahid takes that position away from Bandcamp. Man. God, I would have loved to see Sky try to commit that, but it probably wouldn't have worked too bad. Pacey,
yeah,
147.1.
we've got Geordie coming into the pit, so I think his tyres were cooked.
Yeah.
After that spin and after they were already 14 laps old. So
Skyfield, what a fantastic brake line there. Absolutely closes out Bandcamp for that, and then puts himself right behind the Toro Rosso as they come into turn 2. Pacey and Revo making their way up to 3 and 4 amidst all the chaos. So now all they have to do, Pacey now overtakes Gus. We'll move up there. Oh, Gus goes
side
out,
by
so
side.
there's some fucking
Revo's just sitting back watching them, hoping they do something silly.
wheel to wheel. He's going to be on the inside here. Can he get on that brake line? Yes, he does. He gets that grip line just ahead. Oh, but Gus doesn't want to give it up. He goes, oh, he's diving on the inside now. He's got that curb. Oh, this is fantastic. Pacey's now going to have the inside on that next corner, and he'll keep that position. Oh, and Gus goes quite wide. Revo's probably going to capitalise.
Revo, he's going to jump him. He's going to jump Gus, that's for sure.
That's what's happened. Revo waited to
Just
pounce, and he got
sitting
that
and
right there. Ooh, a little bit of a lock up there as they come through. So we've got Apollo in the McLaren, Pacey in the Mercedes, and Revo in the Racing Point, making up your top 3 as they come onto the back straight for lap 14. Gus, unfortunate for Gus, he went a little bit wide there and lost those positions. He's got a pit as well, so he might actually bite the bullet and do that now as we see him coming up to that penultimate corner. Skyfield there right behind the Toro Rosso. Skyfield's impressing me. He just has a consistent drive.
Yeah, he's got solid pace. He wouldn't be happy with this qualifying compared to his last 2 rounds, but yeah, he's turned into a bit of a dark horse. If he can put it all together and last the whole 30, he's got good speed.
Alright, as they come down onto the main straight there with Pacey and Revo in that turn 1. Williams sticking right behind that Toro Rosso. And we see very consistent intervals here. Seb now 6.5 behind Lotus. Seb's behind Lotus. Oh wait, he had to rejoin, didn't he? Yeah, right. No, that makes sense. Sorry. That's right, he did have that disconnection issue, so...
I think Seb's out completely. I didn't see him rejoin.
Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate for him. Man, the NBA
Not in the race lobby anymore, so yeah, I'm going to say he's gone to his quiet corner to rock back and forth and is out.
Alright, as we see Bandcamp and Matzoid having a battle here, switching positions. Matzoid pulling in behind. Now will he try and do the attack on the next set of corners, right up close. No, he's going to play the safe game. Ooh, Bandcamp brake checking in there a little bit. Alright, as they pull into that. There we go. Ooh, just a little bit of traction loss there as Matzoid pushes hard.
Pacey and Revo are just itching to get beyond Apollo. We can clearly see he's holding them up. But they don't want to do anything silly, that's the thing. Will they dive bomb down this straight?
Apollo's allowed to defend. He's allowed his one defensive maneuver. He's in the lead. If he plays his cards, I mean, it's wet. He can hold them up. I mean, he just has to do it in a way that's not going to obviously cost him time. Because look, Pacey, Revo, obviously right up there in the driver skill. Apollo makes one small mistake. That's it. They're going to just take that position straight from him as they come down on the thing. Pacey, 0.2. They're on the gap. Oh, he's breaking up hard. Try not 0.1 now. See what he can do there. He obviously can't go on the outside because that'll pinch point him in the next one. So he's just going to slot in there. That train's just going to keep on happening. As Pacey just wants that position. The McLaren saying, "Nuh-uh, stay behind me. I'm going to lap this up as long as I can." Oh, and Pacey goes down. Dive bombs there on the inside. Does he get the braking? Yes, he does. Yes. Fantastic. There's the switch there. Now Revo is stuck behind. Oh, hold on. Apollo doesn't want to give this up. Oh, no, he slots behind as he has to. Oh, Revo gets the inside as well. Fantastic drive there from the racing point. And we've got that 1-2 back again.
That'll be the fight to the finish, I think, from here.
Yeah, now Revo's not going to want to settle for second, judging by his pace. So he's going to try and attack Pacey hard, but Apollo now moving back into the third, so he'll probably be quite comfortable there, I think. Oh, Revo going a little bit wide there. Can Apollo do anything on the inside? Probably not. You're not going to have a lot of grip there. No, he's going to have to fall back. That's fine. We'll move back to the Haas as he tries to
just answering for Jacob. Look, I wouldn't expect any more pits regardless. Only 12 laps to go. These inters will last till then as long as they don't make a meal of it. Losing 25, almost 30 seconds for a pit's just not worth it from now.
So as the Haas makes that perfect dive. Ooh, a little bit of bumping there. Will he get the position? The Ferrari currently in the lead as they come up into that last corner. No, he gives that up. So it was a nice try. Oh, no, Gus goes into the pits. So that's it. The Haas winning that position and back. We'll see how many.
Manages to jump Bandcamp as well down in the lower pack as Band dives in.
Right, so let's see. Gus, he's already lost 3 positions there, so he's probably going to go right down to 11th maybe as Geordie overtakes. So that's definitely an AI there. Yep. Seb's out of the race as Geordie tries to keep up. Lotus coming in up there. And Bandcamp's also in the pits as well, so something obviously happened there. Looks like a front wing damage. He just had a front wing replaced, so
yeah,
unfortunate for him. We'll move back up to Skyfield as he's trying to contest with this Toro Rosso. So we're at lap 17. We've got 11 laps to go. Sphinx, what a weird race. I agree. The rain tends to bring out the crazy.
And to see a full safety car as well, that's a rare sight.
Full safety car, 3 laps that safety car was out, which just compressed that grid, which worked well, which did work well for Seb, but unfortunately the powers that be said no. So
I just love rainy races. They always bring something.
Rainy races for others. I don't want to race in a rainy race because I'm bad, as it is. So the wet would just completely ruin me. Alright, as we are on board with the Williams as he tries to make his way down to that second last corner. Revo 0.8 behind the Mercedes. So this is a good compression here. So Pacey and Revo are in their own little race there. That's 2.7 is the gap between the racing point and Revo 146.
They're setting matching times too.
I mean,
crazy.
Those two are out. Those two are in their own little private race. As we see the lead increase there to 3.2 seconds. So they're on their own. And the next is going to be Apollo combined, Wahid and Sky. And it's not a bad little gap grid here. There's Skyfield just making his way, playing it safe, not doing anything crazy, He's trying to keep his position, but knowing him, he won't be afraid to pounce on that Toro Rosso. Oh, there's oh my! Just missing the back of that Toro Rosso there, so did well to avoid. But you can tell he's pushing it because, yeah, he's trying to brake later. He's trying to inch. Every little inch counts, and as it winds down that interval time, ooh, uses a lot of that grass. Just a little bit of a bad entry there. Revo down to 0.2 behind Pacey, which means they're on that straight. So I'm just going to tune on as they jumping on board with the Racing Point as they come onto that back straight. Now Revo's going to gun it. He's going to try and hit up the toe as best as he can. Now, will we see a dive? I don't think so. I think the gap is a little bit too large for a dive. But then again, it's Revo. No, he plays
If it was the last lap, I think so. But yeah, still too much time to go.
He
Yeah.
plays it safe as they stick. Oh, gets a little bit of traction loss there. Shifts up a gear as they're keeping up on. That's fantastic. Oh, Jesus! It's very twitchy. From Revo there. Yeah, wow, look at him just inch closer and closer. He's braking later, he's coasting longer. It's fantastic to see. Look, oh, such close racing. Alright, I might leave them as I move back down the field. We'll hit on Skyfield again as he's trying to match up there with Wahid. The gap's starting to increase a little bit there, so sure what's going on. That back part of the field is quite wacky. You've got Bandcamp overtakes the AI there.
AI Seb is into the pit again. AI is very conservative. He's pretty much irrelevant. I think he'll be overlapped.
So if we have a look here, from 7th position to 11th is quite a gap. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 9 seconds. Wow, the rain just you're seeing the top half of the grid is intensely close. Revo is sniffing the fumes coming out of that Mercedes. And then you've got 3, 4, 5 and 6. And they're bloody close as well. They're all within 1 second of each other. And then you've got 7, 8 and 9, and they're just a lot further
Yeah, well,
apart.
even if you look at the fastest laps for these guys, I mean, Pacey set a 1:46, as did Revo, of course, but the midfield guys are setting late 48s and 49s. So when you're losing a second or a half second every lap, you start to get these gaps.
Nonetheless, it's made for quite an interesting race so far as Williams crosses the line there, 148. Did he just do a 148 flat? Yeah, he did. Well done. 148 flat. So they come into that rise and fall of turn 1 and 2. Gus overtaking Lotus there. Just move down, see how that goes. Oh, Lotus moving into the pits. Makes a lot more sense. Might pop in with Revo again. Let's see how the battle is ensuing at the front. So there doesn't seem to be a lot of position changes here. Revo staying safe. He's still got 8 laps to gain it, so he knows that if he plays it safe, he'll be better on. He'll keep that confidence. And then between 3, 4, 5 and 6, again, not much position happening. They're just staying safe.
I still vote we need DRS for wet races. I'd love to see Revo and Pacey changing every lap.
Look, okay. Here's my theory on DRS for wet races. Now, I know why they don't do it. Because DRS is insanely hard to control if it's not on a straight line. And in the wet, that would make it a nightmare. But also, I would feel like DRS in the wet would act as a bazooka of water for the car behind. Because you would be funneling all that water through such a tiny gap. And I just, yeah. I feel like it'd be a lot more interesting to watch for us, but a lot more dangerous for the drivers. And of course, you have to take care.
Look, that sounds like a driver problem, not a me problem. So I'd just love to see it.
Fair.
Yeah.
As we move our
7
way.
laps to go. Revo and Pacey, still nothing between him. Every lap, same lap time. It's going to be a matter of who makes a mistake, I think, or if there is one.
It's going to be down to the last couple of laps. That's where Revo's going to probably... I don't know. If you have a look at his ERS, 33%. Oh, jeez. He just narrowly misses the back of that Mercedes too, so there's a little bit of grip there in those tyres, hitting that 10 laps. Hi, Connolly. You have missed something. There was a safety car. And that forced Revo and Pacey into the pits. And... yeah, they made their way from the middle of the grid on safety car restart, and now they're in the lead. So Revo's trying to get back that position, but he's playing it safer now. He's still got 7 laps to go, so he knows that he can pounce at any time. We'll move back to the Haas of combined.
Oh, wow!
Close one there. Now the Haas is probably going to have some advantages here coming onto the straight. It was quite close. Oh my god, that McLaren just left. Yeah, wow, fantastic. Alright, Will combined try dive. He's trying to get that toe. He's trying to get that toe. Nah, he plays it safe.
Off the dry line.
Apollo went quite wide. As the Haas are moving side by side as they come into that final corner, the McLaren's going to have the inside. Yes, the Haas just goes a little bit wide there, and he pulls it right behind.
That's smart driving by combined. You don't want to risk the biscuit there. You'll ruin both your races.
Oh, but he's going on the outside of turn 1. Ooh, this could, again, if he reaches that pinch point first.
We've got Lotus at a spin, so...
Oh, look at this position
coming onto
change.
that last race.
Apollo combined. God. But he keeps it. Apollo, fantastic driving from the McLaren there. Oh, God, man, the Haas wants that position bad. Oh, he goes, he's doing it again. A late break, puts it into the corner, but he lost too much time, and the McLaren jumps straight back on. Man, holding that Skyfield with a 3-second time penalty.
They're doing a lot of tight racing, and that's only going to bring Wahid into the picture as he drops below the second behind now. So we're about to have a 3-way battle.
Yeah, as we drop back to the Toro Rosso of Wahid. We'll see what he can do. Just having a quick look there on the intervals. 0.5 the gap between Revo and Pacey, so they're still quite at it. That Haas, he wants the third position. Almost every corner he's attacking, but the time is lost when he tries to recover in the wet, and the McLaren just keeps on that third position. So as they move into the straight here, we'll see from the perspective of the Toro Rosso behind. Yeah, Apollo moving left, right, across, trying to break that toe, but the Haas is saying, I've got you locked and loaded. And he's pulling up outside. He's going, nope, it's pretty safe. Oh, they're going the inside there. Whoop.
You get the feeling if Kumbaya could get it done, he'd go off into the distance, but that's a big obstacle to jump in front. Apollo's a good defender.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job to hold that podium place from the Haas. As the Haas is trying everything. God, he's trying everything to get that position. But I think Apollo's playing him well. Now, Sphinx pointed out earlier that Apollo does have a 3-second penalty. So, should you be driving this hard if you're a combined?
He will have no idea that Apollo has that penalty, though.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point. So, yeah, well, all the better for us then. As Wahid makes his way to that under 1 second gap as well. I'll move back to him. Skyfield dropping back just a little bit. So, unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to be able to come back, but we'll monitor that. As Wahid, so the real battle is happening between the third, fourth, and fifth. The McLaren, the Haas, and the Toro Rosso, all within 1 second of each other. As it gets closer and closer to the end of this race, you can bet Wahid a little bit off there on the braking, but that's fine. Still within that 1 second gap, so he's going to be fine on that back straight. As we will find that as the laps dwindle down, fighting will be harder and harder. Revo, 0.2. Just going to
Yeah,
quickly jump on board with him.
Sitting on 14 lap old inters, it'll start to make a bit of a difference, I think. Who can control a worn tyre and who can't.
Alright, combined 0.2. As they come into this last corner, the McLaren again, fantastic defensive driving. So Apollo deserves that position now. Unfortunately, he won't be getting third because of that time penalty. But still, he just wants to prove a point, and he's doing it well. Now Wahid closing up that gap as well. Skyfield slowly but surely, still a bit further out there. So, God, this three-way battle here, this is great. 4 laps to go. The Toro Rosso's not giving up. The Haas definitely hasn't given up. And Apollo's saying, you stay behind me.
Yeah, so as it stands, Nut, Skyfield and Pepsi are the ones with the major time penalties. So, and Mutant as well, but he's irrelevant now. But there's still 4 laps, so that could change. Yes,
indeed. As we see the Toro Rosso doing his best to keep on the back of that Haas. And McLaren, Matzoid now 0.8 behind the Williams. As Revo stays in that 0.5 gap, so at any moment, Revo's going to go for that attack. And Pace has got to be prepared because, yeah, you're going to have to defend hard to keep that. Gus overtaking Nut there, down in the back.
Revo is also only one tiny collision away from a time penalty as well, as he always has 2 warnings for collisions. So he'll want to be careful if he wants to push past Pacey.
Pop on board with Haas. Oh, almost touching tyres as we came around that corner. This is fantastic. Right up there.
Now is not the time for a stutter.
Yeah, just saw that on the Apollo. From Apollo there, so combined. Yeah, trying to push closer and closer. Later shifting, still in 3rd gear. Later shifting, later braking. Trying to do everything he can to push in front of that McLaren. Wahid very close behind. Skyfield now dropping the gap to 0.7. So Wahid drops down a little bit, so Wahid must have had a little bit of an off. We've gone a little bit wide. Oh, there's contact there. I saw something come off the Haas. Don't know what it was.
Probably end plate. Let's have a look. Yep, end plate on the left side. So, that opens the door for Wahid big time now.
It does indeed.
As he'll have, will he try and limp around, or will he pit and jump back down to probably 10th? You'd expect him to limp around, I think.
That'd be a devastating choice. God, will he try and man it up and hit that 3 laps to go with a damaged end?
Tight.
Wahid already closing the gap, 0.3 with Skyfield close behind. God, this is fantastic. 4 laps to go. Revo still 0.5 behind there. So no changes yet. There's Wahid flying, really dropping that gap. Look at him go. Skyhill close behind him. Let's see what happens here. Now the braking's obviously going to be altered. Oh my God, the Haas. It's going to be difficult for combined, but he's doing his best.
It's going to be tough because, look, missing that end plate is only going to make it harder for people to overtake you on those high-speed corners where you can't really anyway in the wet. And it'll actually make you slightly faster on the straights as you have less downforce at the front. So he should be able to limp this around and probably only lose a spot or 2, I think.
His only worry is going to be his braking and his turning. Obviously they're going to be affected with that end plate damaged.
As long as he can tuck it in behind the Polo, he might be okay.
That's why he keeps his position there, 0.5. So he's realising that, oh Jesus, going late on the brakes there, almost. Matzoid with a 3-time second penalty. Unfortunate for him.
That will hurt. Probably won't hurt him. He's got a 10-second gap on Gus, so he won't lose a spot for that.
This is fantastic to watch. Even Skyfield's making his way back, 0.5 behind here. So there is going to be quite a scramble. last laps between these four. It's going to be another battle just like Bahrain had in the midfield.
The real benefit is Apollo. Can he pull 3 seconds and maintain his podium?
As long as there isn't a surprise Alfa Romeo out of nowhere, which there won't be. There's only Alfa Romeo. Actually, there isn't one.
There isn't one, yeah.
Scratch that.
No.
There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Not sure what's happened there. A little bit of spin. Pacey 146.6. Setting the fastest lap as we move up. Wahid very close to that Haas. The McLaren put in time.
Matt had a spin by the look of it. Gus is now within 3 seconds of him, so that penalty will hurt him now.
Wahid going quite wide there on the straight. That'll put Skyfield in a good position to try and do something. Geordie overtakes Nutt right there in the back. As Revo's now 0.7 away from Pacey as we come into the second last lap. This is going well. The midfield
absolute rip snorter of a race, this one.
Wahid and Skyfield within 1 second of each other. Wahid within 1 second of combined. Now that McLaren has put some distance between himself and
pushing
the Haas.
that 2 seconds.
Yeah, there it is. So did he smack? Maybe he had some extra fuel. I mean, it is a wet race. Did he punch it up to high? Did he?
It's just combined, I think, struggling to stay in there with that aero.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
But well, he can't get around either. It's just so hard.
He's trying his
It's
best.
really, really tough.
Right up in there. Any closer and you'll be able to tell what ratios he's running.
You'll expect him to take a risk this lap or the next, of course.
He's so close there. Now they're coming up onto that straight. If Wahid can keep this small of a gap between them, he'll probably manage to catch, because Combine's going to have to brake earlier now that he's got a damaged end plate. Otherwise, he runs the risk of going way too far. So we'll see how this goes. He's definitely got the toe. You can see it coming now. As the font on the back of that wing gets clearer and clearer for the Toro Rosso.
Here's the chance.
Oh, as he comes in, where's the braking? Where's the braking? Where's the braking? Oh, the Haas manages, but will he do the undercut? He does it. Yes, he does. He gets the switch. Wahid with the position change as the Haas falls behind. Now it's Skyfield that's going to try and get him up on the inside. No, he falls back in line. Now it's the last lap. So
Skyfield has a penalty, so a big one. So,
yeah, so he's going to try and
should be safe from him.
All right, now he's going on the outside, the Haas on the inside. How will they keep? No, he's pulling right in behind, so will he try and do a cut as well? Wahid goes way too far. Way too far as he goes on there. So the Haas does climb up a little bit in time. However, it's not going to be enough because, again, damaged end plate. Revo 1 second away from Pacey. I'm just going to pop in real quick there.
They both have plenty of fuel, as they don't have the fuel light on, and yet it's the final lap, so they'll be pushing.
Now Revo has 40% ERS. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see. Don't think Revo's going to be able to make it. I think Pacey's got the win here. Another win for the Mercedes.
It'll be impressive, given Revo's pace, but yeah, I expected Revo to be a little bit riskier, but he might be trying to keep his nose clean.
All right, so I am just going to punch back a little bit.
The real kicker is, can Polo get that 3 second gap to Wahid?
Matzoid gets a spin. That's going to be devastating for him as he resets onto the track. I'll just quickly go back up to...
Oh, he didn't ghost for Nut either. Oh, no. Both got tangled up.
All right, so Pacey going to win Shanghai tonight as he goes past Revo in second. So let's quickly jump back.
2.8 seconds to Wahid for Apollo. It needs to be 3 to keep him safe.
That's it. So Wahid, magic number 3 seconds, man. 2.9, 2.8. Come on.
It's going to be close.
See how it goes. 2.9. 25! Oh, God, I think...
Oh, he keeps third. Wow, what a drive for Apollo.
Manages to keep it. And Skyfield and Combined go across the line. And Gus crosses the line there as well. Bandcamp just overtaking Matt there. Unfortunate for Matt, he did spin, so he's got some damage there happening and whatnot. Nutt makes his way across the line for 9th.
What a ripper.
Bandcamp for 10th. Oh, Nutt has a... Nut had an unserved penalty, so he gets an extra 5 seconds.
I must have sped in pit lane.
Yeah, maybe.
Again. So.
Bloody hell, and there we are. Matt Zoid limping home. Oh, he's run out of fuel.
Yeah.
Oh, insult to injury.
Calamity of errors there from Matt in the last 2 laps, wasn't it?
Bloody hell. So yeah, that's a good question. Are you allowed to reset the track? I don't know if...
I don't think it's stipulated in the rules, honestly.
We'll have to have a look. That's a good question, because he did that and then came out of Ghost and hit Nut. Nut hit him, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Thankfully, I don't think it cost anything, but yeah.
As Pacey wins yet again. Another points there for the Mercedes. With Revo in second and Apollo with a fantastic drive for third. Fantastic. Just at the end of that race, they're managing to inch just above the 3-second mark in order to keep that position. Well done to you, buddy. All right, so that is Tier 1 race done and dusted. Me and C Carrot are going to now get out of here so we can prepare for our race. Hopefully, what time is it now? 9 o'clock. Oh. Well, we'll see how we go. Anyway, thank you for watching. It's been great. It was a great race, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. Stick around.